Whoa.
What's up, everyone? Today we're gonna be talking about Captain America: Civil War. I watched the movie last Friday. I thought the movie was amazing. And just a heads up, it's actually gonna have some spoilers. I'm not gonna mention a lot, but yes, I will be having some spoilers. Number one, I liked the movie. The movie was very funny, was very violent, and it was well thought out. The storyline, it was okay, not amazing. It was just okay, in my opinion. Remember, all of this is just my opinion. This movie is for the general audience. It's not a movie for comic book fans. The comic book fans, they had their turn with Batman or Superman, but this one is general audience. And if you read the comic, it's nowhere close, somewhat of the Civil War comic book. Civil War comic book obviously had more characters. Um, they did mess up with not having Daredevil, not having Punisher, not having all these key role characters. One thing that they did have was Spider-Man. Spider-Man, in my opinion, was the best Spider-Man I've ever seen. He nailed it as Peter Parker. Tom Holland nailed it as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. It was just the best thing ever I've seen. He had about 20 minutes of footage it was in. The movie was pretty good. To give you guys a little backstory, what's actually happened in the movie, why they were fighting, all that. So, main reason is just because there is a thing called the Registration Act. The Registration Act is basically about superheroes and advanced superhuman beings registering themselves, and so the government, everybody else will know who they are and what they're about, so they could analyze them and keep them away and keep them safe and keep everybody else safe from them, just in case something happens. So for them, let's say an explosion happened and it's their fault, they're gonna keep themselves hold accountable. They're fighting against each other is basically about Bucky. It was actually about Bucky mostly. Zemo, he dressed up as Bucky and got him in trouble. He had made an explosion at the United Nations and killed Black Panther's dad. So Black Panther is actually not Team Iron. He's actually Team Iron Man, but not for the reason you would think. Mainly for the reason just because he's just against Captain America because he's trying to fight Bucky. He wants to kill Bucky for him killing his parents, which he actually thinks it's him, but it wasn't actually him. It was actually Baron Zemo, and I'll get back to that. And so they're all on a chase hunt. They're on for the hunt for Bucky, and because everybody thinks that Bucky did all of that stuff, so they're all going after Bucky. The airport scene was actually pretty good. I loved it. I loved it. Ant-Man became a giant. He made things. The reason he became a giant just to make a distraction, because so Bucky and Captain America could get away. Spider-Man, like I said, Spider-Man stole the show. Amazing kid, very very talented. Tom Holland is a very talented kid. He finds out later on that Bucky was being framed, and he goes after Captain America and Bucky to find him. He goes to find him just because he wants to help them and help find Baron Zemo. Once they all find Baron Zemo, in the end, Baron Zemo unlocks a dark secret that Captain America knew and Bucky, I guess, kind of knew. He doesn't really remember, whatever. Bucky was the one that actually killed Bucky was the one that actually killed Tony Stark's parents. Tony finds out and just goes berserk. He starts fighting Captain America and Bucky just because he wants to kill, I'm guessing, Bucky just because what he did to his parents. And so from that, they start fighting in the end scene, as you guys saw in the trailers, when he says, "I could do this all day." Captain America says, "I could do this all day." They start fighting, and they show a little stuff what happened like in the comics with the blast and the shield, which is a pretty cool thing. Bucky actually gets his arm cut off, and Black Panther finds out that Baron Zemo was the one who killed his parents, who killed his dad. Baron Zemo was gonna commit suicide, but he did it. Black Panther knocked him out, basically choked him out. But the reason that Baron Zemo did that was because a long time ago when they were all fighting, his family actually accidentally died throughout the whole thing that was going on when they were fighting. I can't honestly remember where they were fighting, but his whole family died, so he wanted revenge and all of that. And so that's basically it. They're knocked out. That's about the end of the fights. Then the next scene happens that Stan Lee, of course, comes out as the mailman, gives Tony Stark a package for Tony Stank, which is, I thought was pretty funny. So the package was just Captain America telling Iron Man that, hey, I know we had our differences and everything. Basically Captain America telling them, hey, I know we have our differences, but I'm actually gonna be breaking out the guys because they all got locked up. Breaking them out. Whenever you guys need us, we'll be there. So that's how it ended. He just rescues the rest of his team and basically telling Tony, hey, if you ever need us, we'll be there. We're a team either way. So that was a pretty good thing. Get to the actual post-credit scenes. So 2 post-credit scenes. The first, Black Panther. Now, Winter Soldier, basically Bucky and Captain America, they're talking to each other, and Bucky's telling them, hey, I want to get frozen because basically he's a sleeper agent, and whenever anybody would say those certain words, he would just wake up and start killing. So they don't want that. So he's gonna freeze himself until they find a cure, and then it fades out, and you could see there's a big statue of Black Panther, and Black Panther basically telling them, yeah, they won't be able to find us. They're in Wakanda, obviously, and if they find us, we'll be ready. Anybody, I don't think they're just talking about Tony. They're talking about anybody else who wants to interfere and stop them and, capture them. They're ready, and they're in hiding basically in Wakanda. The second one is about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, he's at home. Aunt May's giving him I believe a piece of meat or something frozen on his eye because he got a black eye from the fight, and he's telling him, yeah, a guy named Steve punched me and got me a black eye, and the way she looked, it looked like she really knew who she was talking about, and she really knew who Spider-Man was, and she knew he was Spider-Man, and she was just acting it off also, but then she leaves, and then Spider-Man, Peter Parker is actually looking at his web shooter. He looks up, and it's basically a lightning logo of his Spider-Man symbol, and it's basically means that if they need him, he's there. One more thing, you guys, I want to give a shout out to the nerd of the day, which is Izimar Meraz, and I just picked up her. All right, you guys. I thank you for watching my video. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. My